2021 started out with a ton of promise. We had hope for new churches and outreaches and believed God would do great things. We had heard a lot of news coming out of China, and there was a few cases of the coronavirus in Manila, but we weren't worried. We were even opening a brand new church in Abucay, and on March 8th, we had our grand opening service, which was packed full of people who were ready to live for Jesus. Then the worst happened. On March 11th, total lockdown was announced. They called it emergency community quarantine. Everything was closed. Military trucks rolled in and barricaded every street. People were locked in their houses, and everyone was afraid. You couldn't go out for any reason, and people wondered how they were going to get food and water. Eventually, the police came to each house and gave a quarantine pass to one member of the family that allowed them to go to the market and buy supplies just one day a week for a few hours. The president even went on national TV and ordered the military to shoot and kill quarantine violators. But God had a plan, and He had prepared us for this. We had food and medicine stored for an emergency. But being completely cut off from people when they needed help the most was really hard. I knew that God had a plan, so we prayed, and we prayed a lot. And then one day God gave me a verse. In Luke chapter 16, verse 9, it talks about using your wealth to make friends. And I had never known what that verse meant until that moment. So we started cooking and feeding and ministering to the police and military who were blocking our streets. We loved them. And eventually, in loving them, they gave us special permission to pass through the barricades to go bring help to other church members who were in desperate need. It was amazing how God worked through us being able to love the people who were blockading our streets. Not only that, but our church is located near the market. So when people were allowed to go out to go buy supplies and food during that short time every week, they were able to come to the church and pray and worship with us. God had planned it the whole time. As time went by, people were deathly afraid to get sick, and even more afraid to report it. Any person with COVID symptoms would be taken from their family and escorted to Manila via military transport. Going to the hospital and getting medical treatment of any sort was a terrifying option for most people. God had a plan for that though too, as He put 2 nurses within our community who were able to give treatment, IVs, and medicines right here at the church. They say the church is like a hospital. In our case, it was really true. We were in a position to minister to people spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Even though many of our church members didn't have internet connections, we did online services, and God had allowed us to buy a camera and the equipment a year before to do it, and knew we would need it. After months, it was clear that COVID and quarantine couldn't stop what God was doing. He was still working and doing miracles and saving people. God had given us everything we needed to adjust, and we held small secret Bible studies and prayer meetings and Saturday worship. Our faith as a body grew. Now, a year later, the restrictions are lighter, and we are able to have church services again on Sundays. And our church services are bigger and stronger than they ever have been. Our leaders are more established, and our perspectives have changed moving forward. We know now that no matter what happens, the Adventure Church is built on the foundation of our faith in Jesus Christ and will not be shaken. God bless.